What's up, guys? It's three-time NFL Pro Bowler, all-decade return specialist, Josh Cribbs. I want to welcome you to the College Sports Connection podcast, where Double A, Alex, and AJ host the Mid-American Conference Best.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the CSC podcast. All action, all the time. I'm your host, Alex the Captain. Joining me, as always, it's AJ the Guru.
Going on, everybody?
AJ, I gotta ask you, with the dead period of summer that is the interim between the end of baseball season and softball season for college sports and the beginning of football and soccer and volleyball season, what is your favorite summer activity to kill the time?
I mean, you know me, I'm in Colorado. I'm in the mountains now. So 85% of my wife and I's time when we're not working is in the mountains. So we've had rain, hail, sleet, snow here all the past month. So now that it's finally 85 degrees and sunny, we're in the mountains just about every evening getting a hike in, whether it's Pikes Peak, Garden of the Gods, Seven Bridges, open space. We try and hit it all, man. How about you?
So AJ's Mr. Mountain Man over there. For me, it's been getting out and hitting the golf course a little bit more. Ideally in preparation for the tournament I'll be playing here for the Mid-American Conference in a couple weeks. Excited for that opportunity where we are actually sponsoring a hole at this tournament. So for me, it's been hitting the links, trying to improve, well, every aspect of my game, from driving, from the short game to the putting, from, just being on the golf course. If you do a little bit better every day, you go from sucking real bad to sucking a little less, right?
Or the wife and I went to the range last week, and now that we're in the higher altitude here, my ball does carry. And you know, I hit a long drive.
I do.
It carries a little bit more. I'm playing in Oregon here next month with my father-in-law, and so I'm just trying to get ready for that. But yeah, in this higher elevation, that ball does carry. Gives me a couple more yards in that drive, and will help putting, probably not, but nevertheless, I'll still look good off the tee box.
Hey, if you can get to the green in one, you're allowed to two putt it if you need to.
That seems to be the case.
So speaking of that, we are obviously participating in it looks like it's the first annual Mid-American Conference golf tournament. So real excited for that. That'll be a lot of fun here next month. That's actually only about 3 weeks away. Hard to believe. But looking forward
next
to that.
Next week, it's 4th of July weekend already.
I know. It's unbelievable. It's hard. That's unbelievable. So really looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and finish up the end of the athletic season for the 2022-2023 season. And the Mid-American Conference has a national champion.
We do, out of Muncie, Indiana, of all places.
Muncie, Indiana, a young lady named Charity Griffith. She wins the national high jump championship, and her teammate, Janelle Rogers, finished 5th in the heptathon. I got to be honest with you. I don't know what a heptathon is.
Yeah, it's my wife would know.
But I did look it up, so we're not completely lost. It is a track and field event for one for women, in which each competitor takes part in the same 7 events. There are 7 events: 100-meter hurdles, high jump, shot put, 200-meter dash, long jump, javelin throw, and an 800-meter run. I hear meters, and I'm running the other way.
Sure.
But Janelle finished 5th. She was in the top 5 the whole way through. I think she was leading the competition at one point. It looks like she was leading and was in first place earlier in the competition. Finished in the top 5 overall. And Charity Griffith claimed the first national championship for Ball State since 1999. What an impressive display for her. And you look at some of the teams she beat out. She beat out girls from Texas A&M, Georgia. Like, these aren't slouch schools. These are guys and girls who have participated in events where they where they really go out and they really compete at such a high level, especially at these SEC schools.
Yeah, without a doubt, Ball State's one of those programs too that does not have a men's track program. So they do have somewhat of an advantage there where everything's strictly focused on the women. One of my high school teachers and athletic directors was a track and field participant at Ball State way back in the day, and every year he gets the alumni letter asking for a donation and whatnot. And it's always, yeah, you'll never get a donation until you have a men's track program.
Mm-hmm.
But nevertheless, fantastic for Ball State. Getting a national champion in Muncie is a huge deal. It's overall exciting because, I mean, especially towards the end of the year, we had an exciting baseball team, uh, baseball program, and to bring back a track national championship. It's a good way to end the year for Ball State.
I definitely agree with you. And, looking closer at some of her stuff and some of the things she's done, she's had an excellent career in her time at Ball State. I mean, she's an academic all MAC honoree, indoor and outdoor for multiple years. She's a MAC champion, 2022 high jump, pentathlon outdoor, high jump, indoor championships, most valuable performer, indoor championships, most outstanding field performer, indoor field athlete of the week, multiple weeks, NCAA outdoor regional qualifier in 2021 for the high jump and 22 for the high jump, the U.S. track and field outdoor championships qualifier for the high jump. Clearly the high jump was her specialty, which, hats off to her. But looking at just all of this, I mean, this is a girl who has been on a mission for her whole career in the MAC, and looking at what she jumped for this, 1.93 meters.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Indiana State high school boys to even qualify is, I want to say it's 1.85 for high school boys for state.
Something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, just absolutely impressive. So 1.93 meters, which blew past her original record, a personal best and a school best of 1.85. Everybody else in the field failed to reach 1.9.
Mm-hmm.
And then she cleared it at 1.93 to secure a championship. This is her third top 5 finish in the NCAA in the past 12 months. She finished 5th at last year's NCAA outdoor championships and 5th at last year's indoor championships.
Yeah.
So what a talent. I mean, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for Ball State. This is such a huge win for the program, huge for the conference to have a national champion within our 12 member schools.
Absolutely. To be competitive too, both in indoor and outdoor is a huge testament because they may be some of the same events. It's a completely different ball game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, to be competitive in both of those areas, those disciplines is very impressive. And like you said, hats off to her. Hats off to the Ball State women's track program. And hopefully this can carry on into next season.
Yeah, I definitely hope so for them as well. Huge opportunity for them to build off that momentum. As we're wrapping up the end of the last athletic season, we're going to kind of transition a little bit into the next one. AJ, we're 10 Saturdays away from college football.
We are. We mentioned 4th of July weekend's next weekend already, and I believe we'll probably have camp starting here in the next month, right after Media Day, probably.
Right after Media Day, we have, speaking of Media Day, we have some pre-media polls, some preseason all conference teams, some preseason discussions on what's going to happen in the MAC. I was, really fortunate to join the college experience this last week on a couple of their episodes talking about MAC schools, specifically Ball State and Bowling Green. If you guys get a chance, go check those guys out. They did a great job. They are previewing all 133 FBS college football programs. And those guys, they really do their homework. I mean, they knew very obscure stuff about Bowling Green, about Ball State, which was awesome, made for great conversations. Go check them out, the college experience. But we're going to turn our sights on to Phil Steele and his 2023 preseason All-MAC team. AJ, any major surprises that stand out to you on this team?
The biggest surprise is I told you this in a text. There were a lot of names on that or on that list that feel like have been in school for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of guys on this team that I jokingly feel like I almost remember them when I was still at Toledo.
Yeah.
You know, it's unreal. I think there are a couple guys here who are on their sixth, or they're on their sixth. They just finished up their sixth season
Yeah.
specifically, and worth noting, Bubba R. Slanian from Akron. He's actually not taking his 7th year of eligibility. He
No.
is deciding to go pro, and I think he's trying to join either USFL or the CFL. He's trying to do something, but he decided to opt out of his 7th year of eligibility, and he was the oldest guy on this list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look at guys like Curtis Rourke, he's been there forever, seems like. Say Bangura, I'm a big fan of his. He was the guy last year who was a huge part of that OU team. And
Mm-hmm.
you also one of the headliners, Marquise Cooper, transferring from Kent State to Muncie. We're expecting big things out of him this year. Sam Wiggles, excuse me, the Ohio State transfer who's at Ohio. I mean, he was playing on another level last year.
Yeah,
He was phenomenal. But you look at that first team, you have one, two, three guys from Ohio, one, two, three, Ball State, a couple of NIU, one
3
Central
NIU.
Michigan, Nolan Potter out of NIU, Nick Rossi out of Toledo. Great job. That offense, I would take that offense to the field. There's a lot of good talent there.
I'd put that offense against a lot of other college football teams.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's a solid offense. But then the
Well,
guys right behind him.
yeah,
You look at the second team. The
that's what I
second
was looking
team's
at there.
just as good.
That's exactly what I was looking at there. DeQuan Finn there at second team. I mean, he and Curtis Rourke are kind of interchangeable, I think. 1A, 1B when it comes to first, second team and whatnot. So the real question will be at the end of the year, where
Mhm.
those two guys line up.
I will say this. I think Curtis Rourke is a better overall pure passer. And I think he has better mechanics overall as a quarterback. That being said, DeQuan Finn, he's younger. You look at Curtis Rourke, he's a redshirt senior. He's been in this program for 4 full years. He's on year 5 now. I mean, DeQuan Finn's only been with Toledo 3 years. So, there's a whole thing here of not really having, I don't know, the years to develop the mechanics. But I agree with you. I think DeQuan Finn could easily slot in as the QB1 on this first team. But you look at, Odie Hilaire, the wide receiver for Bowling Green, absolutely excellent. Jacoby Jones, the wide receiver for Ohio, excellent. TJ Banks, the tight end out of Akron, he's a second team guy, absolutely great pass catcher. Brady Hunt easily clears the conference over here for Ball State.
Yeah.
But TJ Banks does an excellent job. And then you continue down this list, this third team, DJ Irons at third team quarterback, Ron Cook, the running back from Buffalo. You've got Jaquez Stewart, the running back for Toledo. I mean, these teams are just unbelievably stacked. Jacob Gideon, the center out of Western Michigan. This is a guy who nobody could touch his quarterback.
No, and he's been a guy who's been there forever. Same thing with Ron Cook. I feel like he was at Buffalo when we were in Detroit for the Ball State.
Yeah, that's a
Actually,
name that's been around for a while.
yeah. But yeah, and look at Rocky Lombardi. He's been playing college football for 10 years, it seems like.
Yep.
He's going
The
into his
Michigan
third
State
year.
transfer to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, going into his third year. He's got to be a sixth year guy at this point.
Yep.
I moved down defensively. Look at Vonnie Watkins, for example, O'Malley out of NIU. I'm really excited to see what NIU does this year. James Esther, he's been there a while. He's on the second team. Clayton
Mhm.
Cole of Ball State, phenomenal linebacker. He's really fun to watch. He and Cole Pierce as well. CJ Brown at NIU, Riley Jordan at safety. That's gonna be interesting because Ball State's lost some guys to the draft this year and
Yep.
undrafted free agency out of that defensive backfield. So it's really curious to see how those guys perform. But yeah, you don't even down to freaking special teams. We got some guys who can boot the ball.
Yeah. Specifically, Andrew Glass, the kicker out of Kent State, he's a fourth team guy. But Alex McNulty, I think obvious. Everybody knew Alex McNulty was taken that top kicker spot. That's another one who's been there 1,000 years.
Yeah.
He's been excellent his whole time at Buffalo. Graham Nicholson out of Miami. I mean, that kid can boot the ball. Just looking at this whole team, there's a notable, in my opinion, a notable snub from the first, second, third, or fourth team offense, and he's listed as a kick returner here. Teron Keith out of Bowling Green, Ohio, the running back. I think he is snubbed on this list. Not to say that guys like Ron Cook or Marion Dukes, don't deserve to be on here, but I do think that Teron Keith has been absolutely snubbed, and we're going to be pleasantly surprised with how well he performs this year as a primary back for Bowling Green, but also as a kick returner.
As a kick returner, yeah. And you talk about primary backs too. Samson Evans up there at Eastern.
Yep.
He's the guy. If he could have stayed healthy last year, he would have been a problem. He'd be first team.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd say he'd be first team, because you look at who the first team is: Bangura and Marquise Cooper.
True, but I look at what he did against Arizona State, for example. I take that.
Yes, yeah, no, that's fair.
Performance
that's
over.
Fair.
He did that performance is a lot of them better than anything C or Marquez did last year, in my opinion. But again, a lot of these guys are interchangeable in this first and second team.
Yeah, no, this is a very, very mix and match first and second team, and you wouldn't be wrong to put any of them on either one.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking more at this list, one of our guys we interact with, James Esther, is making second team as a defensive tackle here for Northern Illinois. Matthew Salopek, the linebacker, that's his brother who was there too, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Jack Salopek?
Yep.
So it's interesting to see Miami continuing that tradition of the Salopeks. I did notice Miami did not have Brett Gabbert listed on teams 1 through 4.
I did not know. Well, I think it's a situation where he obviously was going to transfer, then he decided to come back. He was hurt most of last year.
So was Rocky Lombardi.
Yeah, and but the thing is though, Gabbert may not even be the starting quarterback this year.
Yeah, there's that's going to be an interesting quarterback battle. The what was it?
Smith.
Yeah, Smith stepped into that role and he stepped in well. I was impressed with him.
Yeah, we saw him play against Cincinnati, and that was a game for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, he came out, he knew what he was doing with the ball. He young mistakes, of course, things we expected, but
Cincinnati was his first start.
Cincinnati was his first start. Yes. Yeah. No, I take that back. He played the week before as the starter. He came in during the Kentucky game in week 1, I believe, briefly. I'm going to double check that. But yeah, no, I want to say he came in against, who did he play against? Who was that week 2 team? That week 2 team was Robert Morris. I believe he got the start against, Avion Smith got the start against Robert Morris.
Okay.
Yes,
that's going to be one heck of a quarterback battle this offseason, because Avion Smith did. He showed signs of life and showed that he could play the game.
I'm looking at it. He had 2 tutties against Cincy.
Yeah, he did.
One of them to our guy Mac Hippenhammer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he had 2 touchdowns in that game. At halftime it was a 7-point game in favor of Cincinnati. So that was a great game for Avion Smith. Obviously, playing Cincinnati is not the same as playing Robert Morris, but no. I think getting Robert Morris was a good opportunity for him to kind of get his feet wet to prepare for that.
That's not a doubt. Especially playing at Paycor Stadium, that's a good setup.
Yeah, for sure. The other one that kind of surprised me that I thought was a little low on this list defensively, the linebacker out of Bowling Green, Darren Anders.
Yeah.
This is a guy who, 1, he's going to be the heart and soul of this Bowling Green defense next year. But 2, he is very much, I think it'll be interesting to see, because he relied so much on his defensive line to disrupt things so he could get in there. So now I'm going to be really curious to see how he stacks up with a slightly less powerful defensive line and what he does to disrupt the opposing offenses. It'll be really interesting to see. I think he's too low, but then again, I'm looking at some of these other names. Dallas Gant, we all know what he's done. Cole Pierce out of Ball State, Bryce Houston out of Ohio. I think he's still too low. I think you could intermix some of these guys, but it'll be really, really interesting to see. Clayton Cole is going to be huge for Ball State this year. Clayton Cole and Cole Pierce, both at linebacker. That's a nice 1-2 linebacking combo.
It really is. It gives Coach Tyler Stockton a great opportunity to kind of revamp that defense because they did struggle towards the back half of last year. And obviously, Ball State as a whole, losing quarterback, losing a running back, gaining a running back. It's going to be interesting this year, and they're going to have to change their entire offensive scheme, I believe, because they're going to have two quarterbacks, or excuse me, two people in the backfield, Kelly and Cooper, who can run the ball. And so I think it's going to be huge in the defense this year to make sure they're able to get those 3-and-outs, those third and longs that do not give those up to help the offense because the offense will be changing this year.
Now, let me ask you this as a football guy. I have my opinion, of course, and I think that's what's beautiful about football is everybody can have their own opinion on things. What would you rather have? Better receiving defense or better rushing defense?
I think rush defense.
Okay.
Because if you got to put pressure on the quarterback, if you can, when you're put pressure on the quarterback, make him, move in and out of the pocket. It's harder to throw when you're on the run than it is when you're standing comfortably in the pocket.
Well, and I agree with you. So I'm big on, have the guys up front cause chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I think
look how also how offenses have gone though towards the read option and whatnot, RPO. If you can take one of those things away, it makes it tougher on the quarterback.
I think there's that, and I think that it's easier to dial up what you want to do on defense when it's 3rd and 8 versus when it's 3rd and 2.
Sure.
Because if you didn't stop them on if you stopped them on 1st and 2nd down, but they picked up 4 yards a down running the ball, well, I think now you've given the offense a bigger advantage to try to pass over you or to try to run. Whereas if it's 3rd and 8, more often than not, that's a passing down. So I think, I agree with you. Having a good rush defense is better overall than having a pass defense. I'm not worried about some of these safeties as much. Now, granted, Toledo Bowling Green or Toledo Buffalo, and Central Michigan kind of headline that aspect. Dante Kent for Central Michigan, Quinyon Mitchell for Toledo, Marcus Fuqua for Buffalo, and Maxon Hook for Toledo kind of anchor those spots.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody is wrong, or I don't think anybody is necessarily in a bad position if you're not first team, as long as you've got solid defenders up front. And Ohio does. NIU does. Miami does. So I mean it's a little bit of a mix and match. It'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Kind of going back to that question, you look at the NFL, what guys are getting paid right now, the Myles Garretts of the world, the Max Crosbys, the Von Millers, those defensive ends who can can collapse the pocket and get in there and get 8-10 sacks a year or something like that. So that's where a lot of guys are starting to make a lot of the money, are those perimeter defensive linemen. Let's see, a lot of them now too they can play in a 3-point stance or stand up at the end of the line because of their speed.
Yep.
So that's kind of where the game is going. So I think definitely having a rush defense helps that.
No, I agree. I'm with you on that. I think it's huge. Yeah, I mean I'm really excited. I always love it when Phil drops this list because a lot of places will do a first team and a second team, then like an honorable mention. But he really does his homework and really digs all the way down to the 3rd and the 4th teams to really put guys out there. I love that Parker Titsworth is still on this Ohio team. The big ugly at center, number 69. I mean, it's perfect. I love that guy. I would love to have him on the show at some point. But I just love that he is still with Ohio. I think this is last year. Yeah. So I mean, this list Phil Steele does an excellent job, and I don't know, I'm pumped for football season, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it. So like, so you got media day coming up here about a month or so.
Yep.
That's kind of the kickoff to the season. And then right after that, we'll be doing games. I think you're going to a lot of them. I'm planning on going to NIU at Nebraska.
Yep.
That'll be a lot of fun because that's the closest one to me, so that should be a lot of fun. That's a night game too. So
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be really fun to be at Nebraska at night. Like, how cool is that going to be?
yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So,
I'm kicking off the season. I'm starting at I might try to swing in another game in there, but I'm starting the season at Toledo at Illinois.
mhm.
But my goal is to try to knock out the schools that are further away. So the Buffaloes, the Central Michigans, the Western Michigans, and even the Northern Illinois. And then as the season goes on, try to get to the schools that are a little bit closer for all the home campuses. The goal is to hit all 12 home MAC schools or MAC stadiums this season.
Yeah, I'll be back for at least one. I'll be flying back for hopefully it have to either be at Ball State or Toledo for traveling purposes. But yeah, if we can make it Ball State, that'd be ideal.
Sure.
But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get back.
No, for sure. It's gonna be a good year. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Again, hats off to Ball State and the women's track and field program for their national championship. And dude, football it'll be here before we know it. And I really cannot wait.
And it'll be here quick.
The last thing we've got kind of going on, you mentioned it in the pre-show. I'm a madman, I think, really is what I am. Putting together this mobile app, and I'm really excited to get this thing done and out to people's hands. I know that I've shared probably with far too much enthusiasm a bunch of the ideas and things that I've been putting into this app, but I don't know. I'm just really excited to get this to people.
Yeah, it's gonna be a game changer. It'll be a lot of fun for us, a lot of fun for our fans and fans not only of our show but Maction as well, to have the opportunity to interact with each other and the conferences in a way that has never been done before. Really, there isn't an app on the market like it. Each and every day, you're adding something new to it, something or recreating something to it. But yeah, hopefully that's out by football season. We're gonna get some smart app people involved, which is my father-in-law, because that's what he does professionally. So we can make sure everything is tidied up on it, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to get this thing done. The current plan is to have it in mostly complete for media day. So coaches, players, administrators, they get a first shot at it. They get to check it out. But then also to have it ready to go in time for football season, volleyball season, outdoor, cross country, track and field, whatever. You name it, we're going to have it on there. That's the thing that I think that I'm most excited about, is it's not going to highlight the scores of just the revenue sports such as football and basketball. No, you want lacrosse scores? We're going to have them on there.
Yeah.
You want to know what the wrestling team at Central Michigan's doing? We're going to have it on there. You want women's softball from Miami, Ohio? We've got it. Field hockey from Kent? It's going to be there. So I'm really pumped about this and really excited to get this into people's hands.
Yeah, without a doubt. It should be fun.
So I think that's going to about do it for us this week. AJ, do you have anything else you wanted to throw out there?
That's it for me.
Cool. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. Next week, episode 100. We've been here for 100 episodes now over the last 3.5 years. Really excited to, I don't know, to kind of reflect, kind of look back and say, this is what we've done. Got some I guess we'll call it our highlight reel is what we'll be putting out next week. So really excited to share that with you guys. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, keep following us. We're inching closer and closer to 2,000 followers. Would love to get there before football season. If you know somebody who loves Maction, send them our way. We'd love to interact, engage, and share our love of Maction with it right back.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And yeah, guys, we'll see you next week.
See you.